everyone, and happy time zones. It's your bird, Haven the Raven, and welcome back to my first playthrough of Lies of P. Now, I did end up picking up the DLC. Apparently, I need something called Stellar Crystallis or something to actually get into it. Like, I picked up the DLC, so it should have installed. It said ready to play. But, yeah. Yeah, you, sir, are very sus. Can I actually hit you? No. No, our dearest Pinocchio is a good boy, apparently. Even as much as I would very much... that is not what I meant to click. Well. That happened. Goodbye. You. I am actually very suspicious of Geppetto. I was already a little wary of him, because for wanting us to be a good boy, he sure is sending us to kill a lot of things. And he doesn't really seem to care that we've killed some people, like some humans, despite claiming to want to protect them.
Depressed even. And that seems weird. That's weird, right?
I'm willing to bet it's because we killed their king. But our first meeting with Geppetto, we're told that he went into a dangerous area and to be careful because that dangerous area could have met his end. He could have met his end there. But then he's perfectly fine. The puppets aren't actually hurting him. But one human was trying to. And then Geppetto doesn't even remark on the fact that we killed Mad Donkey. Not even in an I wish there could have been another way type thing.
With their king dead, they seem lost.
Welcome in, Rowdy.
Whatever's happening, it's like they can't tell their elbow joints from their tail sockets. I'm not even sure they can function without the king to guide them.
You're talking yourself... Don't do that, Rowdy. Like, if you... Honestly, once you've gotten far enough into the DLC that I honestly think you'll regret it if you don't tackle Manus. A bow makes that easier. You can use bows to lure them out one at a time. Yeah, the sorcerers you kind of just have to learn how to deal with. Rowdy, how far did you get into this game? Did you meet Geppetto? Like, did you... Really? You didn't even get far enough to meet your creator? Okay. That's like the second boss. I personally find him... No, in this. Okay, he's... So you think Geppetto in this game is sus? Yeah, no, I said this game. Yeah, I was trying to ignore at first just how suspicious I found him. But it's gotten to a point where I'm fairly certain we're gonna wind up at some point with the chance to betray him. And if so, he's getting jumped. Like, I'm not even gonna give him... The fuck? Where do I go from here? Where do I go from here? I'm not even going to give him the 5 before I summon if he's a boss. If he ends up being a boss, he's just getting jumped. I'm going to be summoning against him 100% of the time. At least with this playthrough. You rage quit after meeting Geppetto? Okay. Aha. I have... Dealing with monsters again. You quit on a non-boss. Can I hit through the wall? No. How did I know you were going to be a bit of an issue? Did you get to the Romeo fight? Ever? No, okay. So I'm farther than you were. Because I beat Romeo last stream. And I actually hate that we had to fight him. I think you just tap on the stream to see the tags I've got. Really? Huh. Oh dear, this is gonna be a maze. Shows nothing. That is weird. I believe... Hang on. Like, my pronouns today are she, they. But I could have sworn that the tags exist, on mobile if you tap on the screen. First floor key. Oh, wonderful. It's this sort of place. Oh, shoot! First floor key, huh? Can I get into this room? No. I can never tell what doors are decorative! Yeah, that's weird. Okay, we're dealing with... a miasma, apparently. I'll run past enemies once I actually know where I'm going. But I'm fighting stuff my first time through. Ugh, that sounds... horrible, actually. I've woken up at 3 a.m. in the past. Usually it means I don't get any more sleep that night. No. Yeah, I genuinely did not know that there was a, setting for that. Oh dear. What? Okay, then. It's new, alright. So, for anybody who doesn't know what me and Rowdy are talking about, Twitch has a setting now that you have to turn off. It's under your account. It's not under the channel or anything. It's under your account for security and privacy. And if you don't want your stuff to be used for generative AI, you have to turn that off through there. Do-do-do. Didn't I just say it though? Alright, so what's down here? We come back for that. Why are you golden? What did I just... I'll check that trophy later. I'd like a loop back to the, Oh, wonderful. Yeah. I don't mind if people wind up curating clips of my content normally. But don't use AI to do it. That's just an insult. I don't know what happens there, but okay. There we go. Good grief. Okay, just wine. Oh, hey, wait. There was a, La Bluey. In the wine cellar at the Lorenzini Arcade. There was a lady that wanted alcohol from down here. Although it doesn't look like the game is gonna let me take any from these barrels. A shame. Monad Charity House concert. All of you are invited to the concert being held at the Monad Charity House. We pray for the successful opening of the exhibition. Children sponsored by the Monad Charity House have a message of love and hope for all of you. Don't miss this chance to listen to the most innocent performance of Krot. Interesting. Sophia. That feels intentional. Why is this place a maze? Jiminy. Okay, so I guess we are running. There are not 2 fog gates for Gwen. I don't... Really? Okay. I'll be there in a minute, Sophia. You might have been seeing thingies, because, as far as I'm aware, there's only 1 fog gate for Gwen. Sometimes what happens, though, is summoning an NPC blocks off an area. Skill... I need to fuck around with more redeems like that. Sophia.
You're back. I was so worried when you marched off to fight the king. But this... it's a necklace from the Mona Charity House. They took care of orphans and impoverished children from across Croft. Many of those children grew up at the Rose Estate and became alchemists, technicians, and stalkers. I hope the king didn't harm any of them. Or don't tell me. The king's ergo is actually... Are you okay? You look ill, ever since I mentioned the necklace. My heavens, you look...
Oh? Okay, then.
You're changing. You're becoming something more than a puppet. Almost human. If this is what you want, just keep behaving. Keep feeling like a human does. You might just hold the true secret of ergo.
I have to say, I am not a big fan of the hair change. Can I put that back? I liked the other hair better. Like, this isn't technically bad. But the other hair was bouncier. I liked that. Okay, and it lets me... Okay.
Oh, my. This is a change I didn't expect. Did the King of Puppets get you? Or some other ruffians? I'm glad you're growing, but I'm not sure what to make of this. Be wary of dangerous people. I can't believe my eyes. It's almost as if something is growing out of the portrait.
Mm-hmm.
I remember commissioning that piece from an artist named D. Gray. Like all artists, he was eccentric. He claimed that a painting could harbor a living soul. But how can that happen? Just like the fairy tale. Forgive a foolish man his ramblings. Perhaps the seed of its growth was there all along. I know you're curious, so see. You don't remember much beyond Rosa Isabel Street, do you? Ask me about areas you... People call them the Alchemists of the Isle. Their headquarters must be on an island across the sea, but it's not on any charts. I remember tales of an underground dock in Krat, where the alchemists would embark. That's all I know. We plan to reveal our new automated puppet technology at the Grand Exhibition. If it hadn't been cancelled, it would have shocked the world. The alchemists are there now, working on a cure for the petrification disease. Dare we hope?
Interesting.
In my experience, they always have an ulterior motive.
Everyone has ulterior
Be on your
motives.
guard when you're with them.
Literally everyone has ulterior motives.
The barren swamp was originally vacant, useless land. It became a massive dumping ground when the factory started disposing of puppets. The polluted groundwater spawned strange creatures. Perhaps similar to the ones in the cathedral. Definitely worth an investigation. And rumors whisper of rare treasure in a monster's nest. Why don't you go look for it, son?
Why are you so contradictory?
Yes, it's where you live. There used to be a workshop near the station. However, the puppets destroyed it when they attacked. Many of the puppets have moved on, but now strange monsters lurk nearby. Be careful if you go back.
Okay. Cannot use this right now.
No matter what serving, welcome to...
Purchase. Actually, can I upgrade this at all?
I know my way.
Aha! Because I'm liking my acidic crystal spear. Do you have anything?
At the house. At the
What?
house of a...
Tyrant murderers. Interesting. I should go get some coin fruit. La la la. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9.
stalker. Please.
The fact that you found this place on your own is actually pretty interesting. Be careful if you go back there, meaning that I'm supposed to be backtracking more than I have been. Which is interesting. And they've pretty much told us that human ergo is being used to make the puppets move. Sorry, but I need to investigate. And this is where I woke up. Which... Why was I in the train cars? This is where I actually started the game. Strange monsters prowl the place now. Want monsters. Most of the human bodies here have been smashed completely to pulp. So why did they have us... Sorry. I'm investigating. Bathrooms, bloody. Huh. Okay then. So that's that for actually in the station. Nope. Okay. Sophia said that we looked sick when we showed her the pendant. I'm pretty sure our character has figured out a few things that we haven't yet. And that's fair, that's fair. You do you, Rowdy. That's just not even a path. I just came back here because I was told there was monsters. But I'm only seeing puppets. Oh, you. Huh. Further along here, still nothing. Normally, when a game tells you to backtrack, there's something or that you might be backtracking. There's something new. Okay, that is an auto loop around. So... Okay. And that is okay. That's the not that's the not loop around. So this is all just understood. This doesn't take very long to just run through though, so there is that. Interesting that monsters are still susceptible to decay. And that the statue's cape blows in the wind. There's nothing down there.
Out here alone?
Okay. Might as well. And then up here. Strange creatures lurking, huh? Actually, now that I've offed the Black Rabbit Brotherhood, I should go back. What? I missed that my first time through. But I should go back to the Malum district. Now that I think about it. Or, well, I haven't actually, like, offed the entire Black Rabbit Brotherhood, but... I have... more than, I've beaten them up. For Sophia to just move like that... a little suspicious. Where'd she go? Does the game not know how to handle me walking in the front door when... or a second time? Is that what's going on here? Because she has like 3 locations, typically. And suddenly she's a lot less sus. One would definitely think that she has something to do with all of this. But at the same time... where did she go? Like, she might be by the coin tree. I doubt it. Yeah, no. I guess the game just doesn't know how to handle me walking through that door a second time. Which is kind of an oversight. But whatever. I'd like to know where my humanity is, actually, on this. Okay, there she goes. There she is.
I'll use my power.
Nothing else. Okay. That treasure hunter and Eugenie. are gonna wind up being having a quest at some point. Probably, considering how much this game likes to give us moral dilemmas. Oh, wait, that's where they came. That's where I fought the Brotherhood. Whoops. Back a bit. Seriously, though, it might have been a good thing for the Brotherhood to get out of this area. Not even just for the people who live here, but for the Brotherhood themselves. Pretty sure this is the only guy left.
Oh, you defeated the Black Rabbits? I sure wasn't expecting that. No more bosses means no more worries.
Okay.
Of course I'll open the shop for the guy who freed the Malum district. Take all the time you need.
Interesting. And you actually have some really nice consumables if I ever end up. As well as a record. Okay.
The bosses were caught.
There we go. Back to the hotel, I guess. Because I have a record now. Glad I went back. Didn't realize I missed that. Nope. Welcome back, Rowdy. You. You were a snitch? How so?
Les flocons de neige qui brillent dans le ciel nocturne me réconfortent. Je t'attends seul dans le noir. Je t'attends depuis trop longtemps. Je peux t'entendre dans mon cœur. Un murmure de ma propre confession. Le moment de te rencontrer maintenant. Écoute mon cœur, où es-tu maintenant? Il s'agit d'attendre toute ma vie. N'entends-tu pas ma petite voix? Je t'attends depuis longtemps.
This is pretty music. Being in the dog area, there was a volunteer. Yeah! Yeah, no.
Le vent qui me caresse, un ciel brillant. Serait-il possible que je te murmure à ton oreille? Si vous avez une longue journée, te souviens-tu de moi souffrant?
Yeah, people really shouldn't be letting their kids mess with the dogs like that.
Écoute mon cœur, je t'attendrai même si j'ai mal au cœur pour que tu puisses entendre ma petite voix.
Yeah, these kids are lucky they didn't lose fingers.
T'attendrai, je t'attendrai.
Yep. That definitely the better way to handle that. Did this change at all? No.
People have no thanks for keep.
Alright. Back to the arcade. Yeah, you did say that you have a skill issue, Redeem. I need to mess around with more of the audio stuff, honestly. Because there's actually some things that I can't get to work quite yet. Yeah, go sleep, Rowdy. If you need the eeps, go eep. Go be eepy. There was a door that I, like, just opened. Where is it? There we go. Oh, yeah. That does not sound like the smartest thing to do. Hi! No, we don't do that here. Oh, welcome in, Kay. How are you today? Took a cat nap. A cat nap is not enough for most people. Willing to... Okay, I'm willing to bet that they don't actually have anything unique for dropping it, if the other one didn't. Because there was 2 of them. I just almost goofed. That is not what I said. I said that the whole Mafi Inn thing specifically was a joke that was starting to get old. Because not every game has a bird that I can name Mafi, Kay. Few citizens of Krat do not know who V is. The Crown Prince of High Society, the man who came up with the Grand Covenant, the automated puppets, and built the best manufacturing company at the age of 18. The man who's always fancy and is passionate about making people laugh. V is the most hated and beloved man in Krat, but his innocent passion makes even his opponents sentimental. However, even fewer people are aware of the tragedy he experienced in his youth. The true nature of V's parents' deaths was covered up. Officially, they're the victims of a homicide during a mugging. Even though V experienced such a tragedy in his youth, he grew up with a cheerful personality and became a well-known person with whom any parents would be proud of. However, there's no one who knows that V secretly requests for the case history every year and that his request is always denied. Okay. Suspicions surrounded this tragedy at the time, and there is known to have been pressure from the workshop and the alchemists throughout the investigation. The most interesting hypothesis is that the murderer is not human. If this is true, that explains the workshops and the alchemists' suspicious attempts to cover it up. It also explains how V was obsessed with the inventions and success from his youth. That is where the real tragedy of Krat lies. Even V, the richest and most influential in all of Krat, can't come close to their power. On the other hand, this fact includes another truth. Have you noticed? The state's censorship keeps me from writing it, but as a writer, I'm curious if people are ready to accept the truth. The truth that there's a murderer made of steel that walks among us. Perhaps our world of Krat is not such a safe place after all. Okay. What? I'm letting this one go because of the whole you did not get enough sleep, but seriously, Rowdy, the timeline joke is not funny anymore. Give it at least a month or 2. And what was that? You give Manus runs. Seriously, Rowdy, just lock in, honestly. Underground passage key, okay.
Who are you? A lost visitor? Or a looter who's arrived too late? You look like a stalker. I figured you were all dead. Stalker, visitor, looter, I don't care.
Interesting. Oh. Okay, I need to come back to you. Flamboyant? What? Actually, no. Let's open this and see where it takes me. Because this should take me back somewhere. This game! You wouldn't happen to resemble the hulking thing that just walked by, would you? Oh, Negan! Hello! How are you today? Oh, wait, right. I, generally speaking, don't like to take medicine in general. Just period. I don't like to take medicine. Hi, hello. We're gonna back off a bit. Glad to hear you're doing better. Sorry to hear that you were sick at all. I'm not going that way. I'm hoping that there's a fire thingy I can push off into that. Stairs it is. Why is this game so mean? Your days bleed into each other? Yeah, that happens. There are so many corpses wandering around that I genuinely can't even tell what is and isn't trying to kill me. The biggest show on Earth is coming to Krot to make your heart race. Dear ladies and gentlemen, introducing the Grand Exhibition in Krot, the city of tomorrow, the center of the new age. State-of-the-art machines, balloons spread across the sky, and a popular performance that toured from across the great desert in the south to the country in the far east. Don't forget the essence of the automated puppet, the center of Krot's revival. The greatest show awaits you all. Up to the Future, a multi-purpose, Vanini train, or tram, new butler puppets, from the far east, okay. I don't like that. And then there's further down. Okay. Glad to hear you're doing better, Kay. Genuinely. I don't like the fact that someone trapped some of these in the wine cellars. Oh, those two were set dressing. Wonderful. How did... Okay. Okay, they were set dressing at first. Oh my. Oh my. My parrying is not, in fact, getting good. I think I got worse, actually. Ah, boy. I knew I was going to get jumped by something rough. But I, for some reason, did not anticipate a clown in the arcade. Balance crank.
Isn't the old
Aha!
venerable lady looking for some wine? You know, like the wine you've got.
I will go back to her once I... Are you kidding me? Oh dear. Oh dearie me. There we go. I knew I was getting jumped. Looking at that room, there was no way I was not getting jumped.
Hello? Is anyone there?
Oh?
Calling any and all stargazers in the vicinity. Please respond. Over.
Interesting. Hello, Vanini.
Really? Eviva, it actually worked. This has to be how the King of Puppets did it. How he called to the puppets and controlled them. I can't believe you can transmit your voice through ergo waves. What a brilliant discovery. And you'll never believe what signal I've picked up over the ergo. A cry for help from the Grand Exhibition. Somehow someone survived. I'm suspicious too, but you have to investigate. What if it's some trapped innocent?
I have to admit, I was a little... I've been suspicious of everybody since this game began, simply because of the whole premise of the game is lying, essentially. But I do have to admit, Vanini is less suspicious than pretty much everybody else at the hotel at the moment. Especially after finding that murder case. You. Oh my. Ah! Ah! That was bad. So, ma'am, you wanted wine?
Ah, lovely wee. Even in the bottle it has a distinctive shade of red. Oh, thank you, young one. Every step is a struggle when you have the petrification disease. But this glimmer of happier days is priceless. Oh, I almost forgot. Speaking of price, here's what I can spare. Please, take it.
Really? Okay. That's interesting. I'm heading back real quick because there's two things. I'll be heading back to Hotel Krat in a minute. But first, Lorenzini Arcade, because there was a black market salesman here that I'm going to forget about. And he had something interesting. I believe it was... this one? Yes, it was this one. Congrats on doing your laundry. Alright. And now we go back to the hotel. And then from the hotel we figured it out. I'm a little concerned about the fact that I haven't found a means of getting rid of the decay in the basement. If we're being completely honest.
At the House of Vanini, strike a light. You found a commemorative coin dating from the founding of the Vanini Foundation. The Foundation is a sort of fan club, sir. A very limited number of these were minted for the original members. Well, once Master Vanini established himself as the Prince of High Society, his popularity skyrocketed, and his signature coat and glasses were mass-produced. This is one of the originals, however, from the limited run. Take care of it, won't you?
Okay.
You have restored Master Vanini's lost collection.
Thank you. Oh boy, that's...
I always welcome...
Worst Souls-like I've played. That is a tough one. That is a tough one. I honestly don't know if I can even answer that. I tend to enjoy the genre, so while I've got... No, it's definitely not DS2. DS2 is actually up near the top. But picking a worst... And actually, they're not... It's not a Souls-like if it's made by FromSoft, though. It's the Soulsborne at that point. I genuinely can't answer that question, Kay. Not because it's not a thought-provoking one or because of disinterest, but because I have no fucking clue. Alright then. Guess we're going back down. I don't like how empty this hallway is. That is suspicious as fuck. Fence, sweetie. What's with the nightmare? Of the souls borns. Huh. That's not even a happy voice, it's just a, higher pitch. Alright. Nope. Ah. Get back here. Well, that repairs my stuff, at least. No. No. Sekiro is restrictive, but I wouldn't exactly call it weak. Yeah, there's a lot I'm considering with this question,
The
Kay.
exhibition theme was automatic puppets and city of the future. The plan was to showcase and demonstrate the most advanced technology in Krot. But you know the rest. You can't hold an exhibition in a city that's fallen into utter chaos. And now the whole city is an exhibition of a nightmare.
There's a lot to consider with this question. I have to consider gameplay. I have to consider DLC. I have to consider story. I have to consider NPCs. Huh. Okay. So, gameplay-wise... I think for gameplay and mechanics, it has to go to either Dark Souls 2 or Dark Souls 3. Well, I guess Elden Ring's kind of up there, too. Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 3, and Elden Ring. World structure is Demon Souls, hands down. Yeah, Elden Ring does have some annoying NPCs. Actually, because of the depth of them, I think I actually have to give NPCs to Sekiro. With an honorable mention to patches in the Dark Souls series. Story... Okay, story is where things get really complicated, because as standalone games, the Dark Souls trilogy falls behind. But as a series, they have the best story, just flat out. So it's just a matter of how are we considering that. Are we considering the Dark Souls trilogy as one in this case, or as standalones? Ah, damn it. Separate, okay. Honestly, Dark Souls 2 actually had the strongest story of the three because it was character-driven. If we're taking it as a series, then they're all parts, but as standalones, Dark Souls 2 had the best story. You didn't need to understand the world as a whole in order to understand your character. Which is something that all of the other Soulsborns, with the exception of Sekiro, kind of struggle with. Like, as much as I love the story and stuff, Scholar of the First Sin included. You don't need to understand the world to understand your character. And considering... Shoot, where did I even go? Sekiro also had a pretty in-your-face story, but it was very generic. Meanwhile, you're presented at the very beginning of the game. The story, your character's motivation. Find yourself. Find your own path. Don't go hollow. And I think that is honestly much better because it gives much more personal motivation to the characters. And seeing as how most people aren't going to be reading every bit of lore they come across, that is a huge deal. In order to understand most of Dark Souls 1, most of Bloodborne, a decent chunk of Dark Souls 3, although admittedly Dark Souls 3 does this a little better, and a good chunk of Elden Ring, you need to read item descriptions. You need to go out of your way to find hidden secrets. Dark Souls 2, sure, there's hidden secrets, but predominantly the story is just you trying to find yourself. It's not some... It is a grand quest, but not in the traditional sense. So, yeah, I kind of have to give story to Dark Souls 2, if only for the fact that we understand the protagonist from the get-go. Well done, Rowdy! Does that make sense, Kay? Oh dear. Ah! Shoot, so... What was that? Gameplay and mechanics is Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 3, and Elden Ring. Characters was Sekiro. NPC... Yeah, but that was... characters, what am I thinking? And story had... I actually haven't finished talking about the story. But of the 3 Dark Souls games, Dark Souls 2 had the best... had the best story, if only for understanding character motivation. Overall... Like, let's be real here. If I'm ranking them based on universe, then the story of the Dark Souls games is undisputedly just so much better because they had more time to play with it. But as standalones, Dark Souls 2 has the strongest method of going about the story. So for individual games... Oh dear. What other ones come close to Dark Souls 2 in terms of story? Elden Ring's story is pretty good. Bloodborne also has a really good story. Why am I choking? Ah, damn it. I'm considering just Soulsborns. I'll move on to Souls-likes later. So, of the... Oh wait, did I say world structure? Yeah, world structure is definitely Demon Souls. World structure, there is no debate here. World structure is Demon Souls. There is just so much piled on... Like, that world is so layered. How you access the different layers is annoying. But the world actively changing around you is... That just makes it better. Even with the Nexus at the center. I kind of wish that we'd gotten something like World's Tendency, but with... Oh dear. But with a game structured more like, well, Dark Souls. See... Alright, so let's go through the strong... Let's go back to the mechanics real quick, because I did kind of leave that as a three-way tie. But... You're asking for definitive... hang on. Okay, so... I'm gonna put the definitive ones in the chat right now. NPCs. Just so that I don't backtrack. Which one had the best mechanics? No. Like, Sekiro's good. Don't get me wrong. But I'm just thinking overall, the best mechanics and gameplay would be Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 3, or Elden Ring, as far as I'm concerned. One of those three. I'm trying to think of the strong and weak points of all of those. I think Dark Souls 2 low-key did magic the best. I mentioned this before, but it was completely separate from your healing system. And they made it even better in Scholar. Or they made it even better with the DLCs and, of course, with Scholar. I have to say that in terms of player-enemy balance, probably Dark Souls 3, honestly. A lot of the enemies are really tough. And there are some that are complete and utter bullshit, and we'll get to that with the bosses. But generally speaking, any way you want to handle most enemies is completely valid in Dark Souls 3. Elden Ring's strong point is honestly the variety of weapons and weapon customization. Where am I? Like, it has some cool spells. But this might be a hot take, but I genuinely think that only having 2 kinds of magic really hurt Elden Ring's casting, so it has... and a lot of the enemies are also very weighted for one specific build. There isn't really too much of a balance. You go into certain fights with certain builds, not even... Like, I'm not even talking about challenge builds. And you're just kind of fucked. Like, it is a lot harder to get past some fights in some sections than it needs to be for someone who's not a very specific build that that section wants you to be. So I kind of have to dock points for that, despite the fact that the weapon customization in Elden Ring is top tier. Or, well, maybe not top tier, actually. Like, the wet blades are nice, but Dark Souls 2 had the stones... Or Dark Souls 2 and 3 had the stone system, and I actually really like the stone system. I have actually used the whetstones in Elden Ring. And the Ashes of War. I like being able to swap around the Ashes of War. But I think whetstones are kind of inferior to the stone system. Despite the Ashes of War. Yeah, I know what you meant. The weakness of the stone system is that you needed a specific item at a specific place and then to find more stones, so it was less accessible. However, it also felt more rewarding and more like a genuine decision your character would have to make to... It felt like genuine investment rather than something you just slot in to try. Mic going off. Welcome in, Leonidas. I use the term loosely. For mechanics and gameplay. I think I have to give mechanics and gameplay to Dark Souls 2, and then I give enemies and bosses to Dark Souls 3. DS2 is very smooth once you actually know what you're doing. It's just the learning curve that is a little... so for that, I think it's like a 4-way tie at the moment. For story... Overall, Dark Souls trilogy, but if I have to rank them individually, that's where I'm starting to struggle a bit. Dark Souls 2 definitely has the best story of the three. But is it good enough to be on par with Bloodborne and Elden Ring? Sekiro has a good story, but it is kind of basic. As much as I hate to say it. Oh my. We're gonna do that.
I get the puppets, but what are the monsters doing here?
Hi.
Don't come any closer. Oh. You're not one of them. Are you here to save me? Those grand exhibition jerks are not to be messed with. Especially after they took that drug. Then there are those biological experiments. Ugh, how horrid. I can't reveal everything, but suffice it to say that I can escape on my own if you clear the way a bit. Please, wipe out all...
Interesting. There we go. Oh my. Wasn't it only genie if they're trapped in the bottle or lamp? Pretty sure it's Ginny otherwise. That isn't how it works. Okay, let's see here. Is that a loop around? Did I just get a loop around? Possibly. Hold on. Yes, I did. Okay. Loop around acquired. Still a little concerned I haven't found a boss today. The man who stood at the pinnacle of life, Champion Victor, has returned. Do you remember the great wrestler Victor? The Hercules of Krat. The man who never backed down, even when pitted against a lion and a bear. The veteran warrior who painted the circus with your cheers and applause. Victor is coming back to us. If they... Okay, that bugs me. It should be Heracles. It should be Heracles, not Hercules. Victor's incurable illness that came suddenly a few years ago saddened all Krat citizens. Everyone learned that he's human after all, and fate can't be avoided. But with the help of alchemists and some medical science, Champion Victor has returned from the dead. Ah, fuck. The illness can't bother him anymore. The steel-like will and superhuman power that defied fate. The world's strongest man, Champion Victor, is coming back to us. His big return match is none other than an automated puppet. This coming full moon, witness what's sure to be a legendary moment of the man who stood at the pinnacle besting even a machine. Only a few spots left. Hurry and buy your tickets now. Well, I think I know what the boss I'm going to be fighting is. So the strength for Dark Souls 2 and Elden Ring is that they're pretty upfront about their... Oh dear. Story. Bloodborne is on here because it is a really good story, and we do kind of know what our character was there for. But it's not very well explained, and that is kind of... And for the others, that is a detriment. For Bloodborne, that's kind of the point. Bloodborne is pretty clever in turning its biggest weakness, really, into a strength. Or what would normally be the biggest weakness into a strength. Because again, with all of the other Soulsborns, you want to know what's going on. You want to know what's going on with Bloodborne too, but not knowing everything is half the point. Like, that is the entire point of the plot. Ah, damn it. So that means that Dark Souls 2 and Elden Ring are very similar, but Bloodborne is very different. So I'm trying to figure out what it is that would actually be better about one way of doing things or the other, and then if it... and... oh dear. If you... the first little bit of lore you can get in the game, before anything else, is that your character is searching for pale blood. We came to Yharnam to become a hunter. There is no... no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We came to Yharnam specifically to hunt moon presence. Or to seek moon presence. We don't know why. And we don't know how our character found out about that. But we do know that our character in Bloodborne is there for moon presence. And that mystery works to its advantage because the whole point of cosmic horror is generally you don't want to know. Okay. Arlecchino. Okay, this guy is sus too, but generally speaking with figures like Arlecchino, it's either going to be somebody that we never run into, somebody that's going to turn out to be helping us, or someone that is going to turn out to be a secret super boss. I'm curious to see which one it is.
Another fine day in the city of Krat, but I wonder, my friend, just where you've been? Ah. If your goal is to study the human condition, there's no better way than my riddle position. You know how it is. It's time for a quiz. Today's riddle might have you over the barrel. But get this one wrong and you will be in peril. So, answer correctly or tango with danger. But when you quiz with the king, danger's no stranger. Now, listen closely and heed the king's speech, or the answer to this one will stay out of reach. Think about this. Whatever it takes. What cannot be used before it breaks? Correct! You were once such a fool, yet you've gotten so clever. I'm as happy as a parent. In this city, there are those...
These being multiple choice really makes it easy.
be reborn. How about you? Can you awaken and break free of the shell that is your puppet's body? Oh, it's a frightfully difficult question, huh? So, I'll reward you with a hint. At the grand exhibition, you now must behold all 10 fingertips of the woman of cold. Look close before she escapes your notice. Then I'm done with you. Mostly.
Interesting. Hang on, did I not get a Trinity key this time? I don't think I got a Trinity key this time. Hold the 10 fingertips of the cold woman before she escapes. That implies the lady I found earlier, I think. Anyway. So, Elden Ring. Elden Ring does story very similarly to Dark Souls 2, but without the character-driven element, really. It is just a grand quest. No more, no less. There isn't really a personal element to it, but we have a lot more choices as to how to go about it. So, in that case, which is better, really? You can all three of them you can affect with actions. However, Elden Ring does have the most choice in how you interact with the story. Ah! For example, I think Bloodborne actually has the least things you can do to affect the story. Actually, now that I think about it. The only real ways you can impact the story in Bloodborne are to save a relatively small number of NPCs. Ah, there's the boss. Okay. I will give this game credit. I don't wander into bosses unprepared. Wavelengths connect the minds and ergo hearts. That transparent fullness where lies cannot exist. Is that a new true world or forced prison? Maybe I won't be able to think free, laughing in my head or running away. Let's see. Yeah, the only thing you really have for affecting the story is the DLC and in all of the games. DLC, NPC quests, and endings. Well done, Rowdy. Huh. If we're just going by NPC quests for impacting the story. Then the worst by far is Bloodborne. But we also have the endings. On the flip side, the only thing in base game... Actually, I am going to give this to Dark Souls 2. Because Dark Souls 2 did something unique with the DLC that none of the other games dared to. They added outcomes to the... They added an ending for the DLCs.
Please, wipe out. It'll be easier to breathe once that horrid Victor's been taken out. What? Please, wipe out all those mongrels. It'll be easier to...
Huh. Okay. So you're not the Lady of Cold, then. I haven't played Night Rain, so I'm not going to talk about Night Rain. But I am going to give story to DS2 because, they actually changed. They had the balls to tie the DLC into the base game story and actually change things with that. The DLCs for the others do tie into the base game story. However, Elden Ring's DLC doesn't really... You don't unlock anything new in the base game from it. Bloodborne, you just get one line of dialogue for for doing the DLC. Dark Souls 2 actually tied the DLC into the game in a massive way because it impacted how you interacted with Vendrick and Aldia. So yeah, okay, currently Dark Souls 2 is in the lead. I have to give it to Dark Souls 2. Okay, so hang on. It was... It was gameplay and mechanics plus story. I have to give that to Dark Souls 2. For bosses and enemies, it was Dark Souls 3. Because aside from Midir, really, there isn't a boss I'd really call unfair. They all have... Every one of these games has one jank boss, but the only thing I'd really call unfair in Dark Souls 3 is Midir. NPCs with Sekiro. And... world structure was Demon Souls. I wish more areas would change when you returned to them later. The way they do it in Demon Souls.
No matter what, serving, welcome to...
I think that ultimately makes Dark Souls 2 the best of the Soulsborns. You were asking for the worst, though, so that is...
This is a supply. I shall open it.
Hmm.
No matter what, serving, welcome
If that was the case, and I was just a Dark Souls 2 glazer, all of these would be Dark Souls 2. Let's be real here. I wouldn't just because something isn't the best at something doesn't mean it's the worst at everything.
No matter what. Sir, welcome.
I'd honestly say that Dark Souls 1 doesn't have anything it's the worst at, whereas most of the others do. It's very middle of the road. For example, I like the gameplay of Bloodborne, but hate the mechanics. Specifically, the fucking capitalism. Inflation in video game is horrible. Here we go. Bloodborne has really good gameplay, but the mechanics are suspect. The way that game does shopping is just horrible. What is it, Kay? No, I did not. I don't think I've met them. Or if I have, I didn't realize their name was Foco. That's not upset, it's exasperated. I mentioned on stream that I had no idea who you and Magnifico were talking about. It is in fact not the same thing. Alright, 5 attempts on the clock. Do you mean the, furnace thingy at the foundry? That was a boss. Alright. Yeah, I forgot his name. Just straight up.
Welcome to my reign. This is where evolution becomes real.
Okay.
I am Victor, the champion.
He wasn't really all that. I wouldn't exactly call him terribly easy. Oh my. Hey?
We are the reborn.
Uh-oh. Oh my. Okay, so this is phase 2 then.
The new world belongs to us.
I was honestly expecting... Ah, damn it.
It's their duty and their fate.
I'll be honest, I was expecting phase 2 to be the second, or to be a second health bar, considering, the bishop there, whatever his name was, and Romeo both had 2 health bars. I'm hoping not. This guy doesn't really seem like a fun boss. Romeo was fun. This guy's not.
Fight to the followers of the truth. You're so weak. So unfit. It's not over yet. I am the chosen one. Oh God.
Damn it!
I dedicate this victory to you.
Fair enough, fair enough. I am still thinking about the question, like, what would the weakest Soulsborne be? Worst story definitely has to go to Demon's Souls, honestly. It's both very basic and not very well put out there. It has a lot of layers, but at the same time, it really is...
Open your eyes.
They got better.
Gaze upon the new world.
Are you joking? I was supposed to be able to parry that. It wasn't red.
We are the reborn.
Oh no.
Is the power of the reborn.
Damn it. Got greedy.
Dedicate this victory to you.
I genuinely can't get into this boss fight. I don't know if I'm just distracted or what. This isn't even a skill issue problem, it's an I'm not paying enough attention issue. So, worst story is definitely Demon Souls. Worst gameplay and mechanics... I kinda have to say Bloodborne.
Fight to the followers of the truth.
Like, I love Bloodborne, but fuck that shopping mechanic.
Are the reborn.
Are you kidding me?
I dedicate this victory to you.
I'm pretty sure that was 5. Was that 5? I'm not paying enough attention to this. Yeah, like, there's a lot of mechanics from Soulsborns that I dislike. But the only one that actually makes me less likely to play a game is the Bloodborne shopping mechanic.
Fight to the followers of the truth.
Are you joking? Hello? I hit. I was hitting the freaking button. Yeah, I'm getting greedy, losing focus. This is just not a boss I can get into. I don't want to be here. Ugh. Obviously, on replays, I'll not use the summons. But for now, I've already let myself use summons this run. I might as well. Go on, my minion. Take care of this uninteresting boss for me.
Fight to the followers of the truth!
Yeah, I genuinely don't care. Really? I hate that fucking slam. It seems like no matter where I dodge with the slam or with the red slam, I can't get away. This is such a downgrade from Romeo. I'm not even sure I'd be as disappointed in Victor if he came right after the Archbishop instead.
Open your eyes. Gaze upon the new world.
Ah, crap.
You're so weak, so unfit.
Oh no. Damn it!
It's their duty and their fate.
Part of it is skill issue. Part of it is my mind is literally not on this fight right now. I cannot for the life of me focus. And part of it's that stupid red attack that I have genuinely no idea how I'm supposed to deal with. Yeah. I probably should have actually, now that I think about it. Yeah.
The new world belongs to us.
Really? No. Can I hit you, please? Good fucking riddance.
Why be humble? I am evolved. A better man.
Oh. Congrats, Rowdy, by the way.
I'm surprised you defeated Victor. Geppetto's creations are truly marvelous. Ah, but where are my manners? My name is Simon Manus, a leader among alchemists. I've known your father for a long time. We used to be colleagues, you know. Geppetto didn't understand that the petrification disease can strengthen humankind. Locked into conventional thinking, I'm afraid. But even he can't stop such a magnificent discovery. It's the
Okay,
door
so you're a
to new
fanatic.
world. You've seen this place with your own eyes. Truly inspiring, is it not? What do you suppose our cure has created here?
Honestly, monsters here.
You're short-sighted, just like your father. But you speak the truth as you see it, just like everyone else. We, on the other hand, are visionaries. We understand the petrification disease on a deeper level. The disease does not signify death. It's the process of
It's turning them into
purifying
ergo.
a person's essence. A purified human who overcomes the petrification disease will gain a strengthened body and a mind free of lies. The essence is ergo. Yes, the ergo you use as your power
Already
was
figured that one
once
out.
a human being. Our undertaking is to help others experience this purification through this elixir. Truly, it's an honor. Ergo's power can do even more. In the hands of the awakened, its abilities are limitless. We already have the means to control that power. Power beyond your imagination. So while you wallow in a pathetic past, we step forward into humanity's future on the Isle of Alchemists. You're welcome to come to the island and witness our triumph first. Maybe the Saintess statue can help you. In any
Interesting.
case, good luck. Standing against evolution must be exhausting, not to mention demoralizing. Keep your chin up, puppet, and I'll see you soon. No one can say that Simon Manus, leader of the alchemists, isn't hospitable.
Interesting. Okay. The 10 fingers of the cold lady. That is still bothering me. For boss fights and enemies, what game or which Soulsborne has the worst boss fights and enemies? I'm about to sound like an absolute lunatic here, but I think I have to go with Elden Ring. Elden Ring has some really good bosses, but it also has a ton of bullshit ones that you, as I've mentioned before, if you go in without a very specific build, you're kind of fucked.
I'm afraid you saw my bad side at the Grand Exhibition. I was able to escape, thanks to you. I didn't mean to be ungrateful. I'm a soldier from outside Krat. They sent us in pairs to investigate. I got trapped by the blockade and separated from my partner. I don't think the puppets are the only things at play here. Can I stay? I get the puppets. What is happening? I get the puppet. What is
Okay.
So you met Simon. I've been dreading this conversation. I should have told you about Simon earlier. But it's the sort of thing you have to see to believe. He is the most dangerous man in Krat. He spreads mayhem and death for a delusion he calls evolution. Simon wants to evolve a new world in Krat. A horrible future, even worse than the carcass monsters we already face. That's why I woke you up. If you can't save Krat from Simon, no one can.
And we had to go through Romeo. Why?
Someone must know how to get there. I will help as much as I can. Whatever choice you make. I've always wondered why I'm a listener. Why this power came to me in this time and place. But now I understand. Ergo reached out, wanting someone to hear it was once human. Or maybe it wanted someone to remember it. Perhaps a god or an angel. Who knows? But the alchemists have tainted everything. The gold coin tree is a pathetic creature they created from the listeners. Like many of their creations, it's tragic, but useful. You can control Ergo with gold coin fruits. The sad tears of those who became trees. If they
Bruh.
the alchemists might force me to make such a tree for them. Or something even more tragic. Don't let the sacrifice of the alchemists' victims be in vain. With the fruit, they lend their strength to you. Collect gold coin fruits, and let the Saintess statue inspire you to petrification disease, puppet frenzy, and carcass monsters don't happen by chance. They're all related to Ergo.
Yep. Figured that out.
Ergo is the essence of life, made from the petrification disease. It contains the memories and distilled lifespan of the victim. That's why puppets sometimes awaken their old selves, or describe someone else's memories.
They were all once
Simon
human.
coveted Ergo's power, and he noticed that the process of curing the petrification disease could also create enhanced humans. Krat became a city of monsters and petrification disease because of Simon's terrible experiments.
Right.
The King of Puppets tried to stop Simon.
Then why the fuck were we fighting Romeo?
Now, our own.
Why the actual fuck did we fight Romeo?
Whatever choice you make.
You couldn't have told me this before. Romeo was a fun boss, but the fact that he was an utterly pointless one in the lore is actually
Stalker. Lady Antonia has heard about the Grand Exhibition. She realizes their cure is meaningless. Her illness has worsened. Lady Antonia cautions against it, to be sure. But I have heard about an alchemist who knows how to use that most miraculous of medicines. Please find a way.
Yeah,
People have no idea so many thanks for keeping me
okay. Oh, you're not here anymore. Curious. Oh, Rowdy! Hey, thank you for the raid. Congrats on beating the game, by the way.
Will you do for once? It's not difficult or dangerous. Just give this to Alidoro. I'd give it to him myself, but he's in the barren swamp now.
Oh.
He'll understand the significance of this.
Four-fingered glove. Okay. Hello, Wolf Queen and Danny. And well done, Rowdy. Manus is not an easy boss, and even if you cheesed him, he takes a while. And even though Gwyn is relatively easy, it is also very easy to mess up against him. You
don't remember much. Ask me about.
I want to stab Geppetto right now.
No matter what, serving welcome.
I actually want to. I actually want to stab Geppetto right now. I'm kind of curious here. Hold on. Rowdy secretly half-pot. Cyborg Rowdy for the win. So, I just got a lore drop that makes me actually angry. So, this game, the entire first section of it, is centered around getting rid of the King of Puppets. And then, afterwards, we find out that the King of Puppets was trying to stop somebody even worse, like an actual genocidal maniac, and nobody fucking told us. I can't use that right now. Okay. Like, actually, nobody told us. Why? If this was common knowledge, why the actual fuck did nobody tell us about what the King of Puppets was doing? Why he was doing what he did. Romeo was a fun fight, don't get me wrong. I actually really liked the Romeo fight. But learning that it was pointless as far as lore goes, and we just essentially murdered an innocent, is genuinely pissing me off. Or, well, okay, not innocent, but someone who was trying to help and could have helped. Yeah, Gwyn's not that hard, but he's easy to embarrass yourself against.
How's the cure for the petrification disease coming along? Sadly, it cannot cure everyone completely. Even if we eliminate the petrification disease, they won't last long. Are you sure? I leave the choice to you. I'll make the cure if you give me one.
Okay. So I should talk to them. 'Cause that is something they should know about. You will not hear about that? Are you kidding me? I'm trying to warn you.
People have thanks.
Ah, dear. Yeah, you said you were going to. Even with the D's, Manus takes a while, though. So, genuinely good job. The bow and arrow is easily the most broken weapon in the original Dark Souls. Oh, nope, nope. You don't have to enter the final... You don't have to enter the fog gate at all for the cheese. You can do... I don't even think you have to actually get... I don't think you have to enter the gate... not gate. The arena at all, actually. It's just easier to aim once you've activated it once because Manus's eyes start glowing.
The Isle of Alchemists. According to the guide, Vanini visited that place. That's something, I guess.
Oh, okay, so Vanini. That is interesting. What, you two again?
Ciao, Bello. It seems you and I share a strong connection.
Talking to an alchemist is like talking to a brick wall. That's also an alchemist.
Brother, you should say hello to your friend. But it is true that we are in something of a bind. We're going to need to consult with our old friend.
You got that right, sister. Our pal is sure to help us. We didn't behave that badly at his last shindig. I hope.
A moment, please. My young brother here is slowly but surely losing his very sight, his windows to the world, to a terrible, slow-working illness. That is why I seek the gold coin fruit. It's said to work miracles, and do I ever need one? The alchemists give us just enough to keep him going, but not enough to cure, and never what they promised. We can't rely on those crucible-kissing wizards.
Interesting, okay.
Please, don't make me beg. He needs this.
Please, the gold coin fruit.
Please, the gold...
Hey. It's a smart choice. Those things are priceless, and I don't even know if you have any.
But now you know that your friends... I don't use that word lightly, desperate, so if you do find any gold coin...
Okay, I genuinely don't have any. How long until the tree is restocked? That's weird. You saw... That's just bad luck, Rowdy, honestly. Alright, so I can get one fruit from this. I'll use it to... That's just bad luck, Rowdy, I'm sorry to say. You saw how much humanity I was getting from running around Chasm of Abyss. It wasn't every single time, but it was pretty frequently. Oh! Thank you for the redeem, Kay. It's once every 10 minutes. I'm gonna actually give one to Black Cat here just so that I can continue the quest. if I have less than 2 bosses, if I have less than like 4 bosses left on my to-do list in any game, then I don't bother with another stream. I just go for it, honestly. Unless it's Consort Radon, odds are I'll wind up getting it very quickly. I did see the silly command, and that is not how it works. I try to keep it simple. Pardon? So that nobody's typing for like 5 minutes just for one rules of the run. No question. Are they still here? They are. Okay.
Please. We knew you were a true friend. And generous.
That's right. I liked you from the start, you know? Just had a feeling. If you felt otherwise, that wasn't me.
Ignore this one. When he gets excited or just feels happy, he gets chatty. But he really is grateful. We both are. On that note, I hate to borrow and run, but we have another request from the alchemist to take care of, so we will be staying behind. You'll need to go on without us, so...
Okay.
I suppose this is farewell. I won't ever forget your kindness. Here, a small token, but it's a gift from the heart. Now go.
Interesting. Okay.
I never forget a friendly...
Wow. You need me? I was surprised when the bell rang. The Isle of Alchemists, you say? And monsters. This is a nightmare. I'm living my own nightmare. Puppets and alchemists forget it. It is their secret island. A place hidden from the world. But even if we could find it, how to get there?
I don't think that's possible, Rowdy, unfortunately.
I don't know if it even works anymore. But one still requires fuel, needs must when the devil drives. There could still be a way. A dangerous but marvelous mode of transportation. But it won't work without a golden ergo. My research, well, Pulcinella did a lot of the heavy lifting, has led me to believe you can find one.
Okay, so that's what... we are going to the swamp.
It's also led me to believe it is guarded by actual monsters. So, I can't make this decision for you. It's up to you. No, I'm not going to tell you the details yet. Not until we have that golden ergo. It's just not worth getting our hopes up, compagno.
I like Vanini. But there is literally nowhere else to go, so... That's all you can do. Yeah, that is... That's interesting, Rowdy. Really. What are you on about now, Kay? Welcome back, by the way. As for the worst Soulsborne that I've played... Oh, does this bring me back to Vanini Works? Or is this somewhere new? It is somewhere new. Let us get the thingy-majigger. We don't, I mean, special place. We don't mean special in a good way, of course. It may cater to a few people with peculiar tastes. But if you're an adventurer who wants to know all about Krat, it's worth knowing about its shadows. In that sense, the Barren Swamp is the area that showcases Krat's shadows well. The Barren Swamp is where scrapped puppets are discarded. Because it's composed of swamps and ravines, it wasn't part of the city's development. In the past, it was briefly a coal mine, but was soon forgotten because of the Ergo discovery. Later, a few shrewd factory businesses concerned about scrapped puppets began to dispose of them illegally here, turning the swamp into what it is now. A swamp full of discarded puppets and corrupted animals. It's Krat's grave itself. Luckily, the city announced that they'll turn the Barren Swamp into a park with the exhibition just around the corner, so we're seeing some hope here. It's a living grave of hell. How about seeing this kind of place with your own eyes before anything's developed? Good or bad, an experience is an experience. 2.5 out of 5. Long boots are a must! Long boots are always a must. What are you talking about? The worst story is definitely Demon Souls' story. The worst gameplay and mechanics. The only gameplay / mechanic that has prevented me from going back and replaying a game has been Bloodborne's shop system. I wish I was joking about that. So I have to give the worst on that one. Worst bosses and enemies. I do feel...
This place is... Okay, there's no easy way to say this, but it's a puppet graveyard. Humans call it an illegal dumping site. The city tried to stop it, but eventually had much bigger concerns. If the Grand Exhibition's horrific solution spread this far too, it's just too terrible to think about. Oh, why am I thinking about it?
Worst bosses and enemies kinda has to go to Elden Ring just because of how specific some of the enemies are. Don't get me wrong, Elden Ring has some phenomenal bosses. It also has bosses that are absolutely horrible to face unless you happen to have a specific build ready. And some regular areas or enemies that are just shit. Really. It also has so many bosses that it is going to have the worst overall boss quality because a lot of them are just reskins of enemies. Admittedly, Elden Ring being open world does give it a huge disadvantage there. Worst world structure? I'm about to make a lot of... Mesmer is an amazing boss. But he's not really what I'm thinking of when I say boss. Like, Elden Ring has some amazing bosses. I'm not going to not deny that. But it being an open world game does it a huge disservice. Because overall, it has the most bosses that are lacking substance. And a lot of the regular enemies are just generally unfair as well. Like, if I was just considering the Remembrance bosses, Elden Ring would be somewhere in the mid to high tier. But because I'm considering every boss in the game, Elden Ring is definitely the one with the worst bosses. And regular enemies, of course, because some of those really are just unfair to deal with for most players. As I said, that is not a take that I'm expecting most people to believe or to be good with. But despite some of the absolute masterpiece bosses, like Mesmer, Plassey, phenomenal. But there's also bosses like Urge Tree, Burial, Watchdog. Those exist too. Godskin Duo. And there's just a lot more meh or bad bosses in that game than there are good bosses. Weird as it is to say. Like I'm not even joking if I wouldn't really say that. I've had some problems with them in the past. And a bunch of other people have as well. And it's not even... for crying out loud. You invited serious discussion, Kay. I'm giving you serious answers. I know for a fact that I missed some loot, but I'm also being chased by a clown. I was trying to get away from that bastard. I did not succeed. Okay, we're going back to... We're going back to the hotel. The worst world structure... That one is honestly hard. Because honestly... What is the one with the worst world structure?
Stalker. the cure isn't exactly stable. Give it to the patient as soon as possible.
I don't think there is a worse world structure, honestly. All of the Soulsborns have their own strengths and weaknesses with that.
People have no thanks for
Okay. So then do I give it to you?
I believed in you and my possibility of imminent death, though. What would you choose?
She's gonna be suffering.
I see that you too are reluctant to bid farewell to Lady Antonia. I wish she could stay with me longer, even if that time might be painful for her. Is that selfish of me? Feelings are such frightening territory. I hope she forgives me for my choice. I will dispose of that cure, lest I...
Alright, there was... that. All of the world structures have their own strengths and weaknesses. Even though I'd say that Demon's Souls is the best, that's because of the depth to it. Sekiro also has some depth, but that is story progression. Same with Dark Souls 3. The depth to Demon's Souls world can be messed with at any point, which is why I gave it the edge there. Elden Ring has a very shallow world, but it's also massive with a lot to explore. So, I genuinely can't pick a worst one there. Worst NPCs is another hard one. NPCs. Which one has the worst NPCs? I actually think I have to give that one to Demon's Souls too. Demon's Souls has the worst NPCs. I gave Sekiro actually best NPCs because they have the most depth to them. And whenever you're doing NPCs, face value is not everything. All of the major NPCs in Sekiro, or well, not major, but all of the NPCs in Sekiro you revisit multiple times. And some of them even have, like, you give them drinks. There's a gift-giving thing. The sculptor's whole deal alone. Ishin. The conversations with Genichiro. Before you end up fighting him. Ishin. Sekiro has the best NPCs, I said. Worst NPCs is gonna have to go to Demon's Souls because there is no depth to them. Like, at all. The only one that we really see multiple sides of is Patches. Everybody else is very one note. And Patches is not enough to carry an entire game. But notice how in the aspects thing of, or in the aspects, I never want once in talking about any of them. Any of the different aspects of what would make a game, what makes the game good and what makes the game bad. Not once did I mention Dark Souls 1. That one by itself is very middle of the road for me. Patches is the only multifaceted character in Demon's Souls. He's the only one that has more than one note to him. Which makes him the only one that's actually kind of interesting, really. As much as I like Yuria, she's very one note. Maiden in Black, also very one note. That's fair. You can't stand who you can't stand. That is entirely fair and entirely valid. I'm just saying he's the only one that's even mildly interesting in Demon's Souls after the first playthrough. And as a result, Demon's Souls falls off hard as far as NPCs goes. No, YouTube. When I upload to YouTube, if I feel like there's a section of chat I should blur, I just put a blur square over the chat. Otherwise, they can see it. But I am actually going to call it for today. If you're I just wanted to finish that discussion. If you're interested in anything I've done up until this point, you can check out my YouTube channel. I try to upload stuff same day, and I group my runs by playlists so they're easier to find. If you're interested in seeing my announcements, I post them to my stories here on Twitch, to YouTube, and currently also to Instagram. If you would like to see my clips in an easier fashion, I post them to YouTube and currently to Instagram. The links to all of that are in the chat now. If you've made it this far and are curious to see where I go from here, why not drop a follow? It takes but one button press, and you can always change your mind if you decide my content isn't for you. Tomorrow I'll be continuing Lies of P. I did pick up the DLC, so let's see if I actually end up unlocking that, or if I'm... Because there was a specific item I was supposed to acquire at some point. So we shall see about that. And then Monday and Tuesday, I'll be starting Amalur Summons Only. That one, it is actually going to take me a little bit to get to the point where I can actually start the challenge. Just because you need to get through the tutorial and actually do the Boggart puzzle. I have no idea what I'm doing Wednesday. Are we raiding anybody? Is anybody live? You know what? Been a while since I've popped in on Bima. He's playing Hades, so stay tuned if you're interested in that. That said, happy time zones, everyone. And I hope you all have an excellent day.